see. Discoloration, necrosis, irregular brown spots originating at the crown. You're quite unwell, aren't you? The sickness seems to be spreading rapidly. I apologize, my friend, but I will need to collect a sample. Oh. Hello. I didn't see you there. Have you been there for quite some time? Oh, that's that's good. I apologize for not noticing you earlier. I was just very focused on my research. My research? Well, I am the botanist hired by the king and queen. I upkeep the royal gardens and maintain my own conservatory for research purposes. There was a gardener working here before myself, yes. You look like you want to ask why the royals would hire a scientist rather than a gardener. I asked myself the same thing in the beginning. Were you aware that the kingdom previously faced a drought, leading to severe food shortages? I see. Well, the queen found my research on the drought-resistant strategies of various plant populations across a variety of climates. She offered me a position here to serve the throne and in turn receive full financial support from the kingdom to continue my research. I've been working here for about 3 years now, since the old gardener retired. And yet, I have not seen you before. Are you new here? You're dressed quite nicely to be working in this heat. You're not working. I see. Just on a stroll, then. I can't blame you. The garden is quite nice this time of year. What was I doing? Well, you see that plant in front of me? No, not the one with the large green leaves, the one next to it. Yes, the silver-colored one with the fan-like leaves. Does it not look unwell to you? You're quite right. It is difficult to tell from this distance. Please, take a closer look. Are you unsure? Don't worry. It's not a test. I won't judge you for any answer you give. I'm simply trying to understand what you see. What people who are not myself see. I found it is hardest to judge one's own work. While you look, would you like me to tell you more information about the plant you're observing? Of course. This is a plant of the class Polypodiopsida. To be more specific, it is a member of the genus Ethereum. It is referred to by many horticulturalists as Anthurium nipponicum pictum. Being that you are not a horticulturalist, you may know it by its more colloquial name, the painted fern. You don't know it? You've never seen one before. They're not uncommon in this kingdom. You don't get outside much, do you? I suppose I understand. The royal family here is quite busy. As a servant of theirs, you must be as well. It's an educated guess, really. I must say, your clothes are far too fine to be fit for a simple kitchen servant. You must serve the royal family directly to be dressed so nicely. So, tell me, what do you think of this plant? Yes, it is beautiful. Stalk is a unique burgundy color, is it not? What do you make of the plant's condition? You are correct. There are quite a few brown spots. And no, they're not supposed to be there. Yes, sometimes leaves do brown naturally due to overwatering, underwatering, or old age. In this case, however, the browning is not caused by a failure to provide the proper amount of water, nor by aging. How do I know? Look closely at the fronds. The leaves. Yes, typically fern leaf structures are called fronds. When a plant ages or is otherwise irritated, leaves or petals will often brown as the fronds on this fern have. However, if you look closely, and you will see that the browning begins in the middle of the plant where new growth typically spawns. Another clue that this is a sickness and not normal aging, and that the fronds have browning in the centers, not on the tips. If it were due to age or a watering issue, the browning would begin at the leaf edges and work its way towards the center. In many plant varieties, this is known as tip die-off. This, however, is quite the opposite. Yes, you see it. So you see why I believe that this plant is ill. What is it? I told you that earlier. You didn't. Oh, goodness. I apologize. You were asking what the illness is, not what the plant itself is. To be honest with you, I'm not quite sure what the illness is yet. I hypothesize that it is a fungal infection attacking the plant. It has not spread to the other plants in the area as of yet, so I believe I can save this fern, as long as it's not infected the root structure. I've worked out a possible treatment, and this sample was required to test it. Why bother? Just a fern. No. To me, it isn't just a fern. None of the plants that I care for are just plants. Yes, of course we can grow more, but every plant has a story. Every plant holds history and meaning inside of itself. It's an individual. What do I mean? Well, fern has lived on this planet since long before humans did. It has evolved and thrived to this very day. In millions of years of evolutionary history, this plant has been used for medicine, for food, and for decoration, such as these, helping to beautify the royal shade garden. The depth of history held by this fern is astounding. Furthermore, do you know anything of florography? The language of flowers. Meanings are ascribed to flowers and plants by people, of course, but it's a language of its own nonetheless. In the language of florography, ferns hold the meaning of magic, fascination, and shelter. Yes, magic. I understand that in this society, magic is a thing to be feared, to be persecuted, and hidden away. Well, it would not be very prudent of me to disagree with the decrees of our king and queen. I will simply say that I believe the symbolism to be a positive one, and certainly that things of such a fascinating and unique nature deserve to be sheltered. Well, you're certainly not one to mince words, are you? Yes, I suppose if I said that in front of a royal family member, I would have to worry about being executed. But you're not a royal now, are you? You know, there is a story about the very same silver ferns that reside in the shade garden. Story from a different kingdom. The story tells of hopelessly lost adventurers trying to find their way home through a forest in the night. The adventurers could not see the moonlight through the thick layer of trees above them, trapped in all-consuming darkness of the forest. But as they struggled to escape the darkness, the adventurers found silver ferns, which reflected the moonlight, and they used their glow to guide themselves out of the forests, to find their way home. To them, in that kingdom, ferns, especially silver ferns, symbolize new beginnings, new life, and a hope for a better future. Better future. Is that not something we all desire? I'm sorry, you look like you're going to cry. Little bellflower, are you well? Yes, it is a beautiful sentiment, I agree. Hope that this meeting can be a new beginning for us as well, my bellflower dearest. And a sign of a better future to come? Yes, of course I can tell you more. My personal favorite biological fact about the fern is that they do not actually flower. It's quite interesting, isn't it? Ferns have no seeds. They evolved before the time it was common. They propagate through spores found under their leaves. Of course, this leads one to wonder at my desire to plant ferns in the royal shade garden, doesn't it? I mean, why should I plant a plant that doesn't flower for our king and queen to gaze at? But I believe that not everything has to be ostentatious to be appealing. They may be plain to others, but I believe they're beautiful in their own way. Don't you agree? The way that they bend and flow in the wind, it's almost as if they dance just for you to see. It's rare that I find another who understands as you do. No, I suppose I don't sound like a pure scientist. To be honest, the royal family hired me, a botanist, to do the job of a horticulturalist. What's the difference? Well, simply put, I, as a botanist, I'm more interested in the function of plant physiology. How do plants use nutrients? What are the pathways that those nutrients go through? How do plants produce hormones? How do they function and communicate with each other? How do they heal themselves? And how do they give back to their environment? But a horticulturalist is more interested in plant production, diseases, and botanical science to plant cultivation. In other words, my bellflower, I prefer to study plant biology, whereas horticulturalists prefer to apply their knowledge of plant biology to cultivation. Why didn't I tell the royal family that? I did, actually, tell them. Did they listen to me? No, I think not. And in all honesty, I do appreciate my research being funded. Besides, while I may not be a horticulturalist in title, I have managed to upkeep the royal gardens for years now, have I not? Do you think I've done a poor job of it? Yes, this fern is sick, but sometimes, my dear, there are things that happen that we simply cannot prevent. You look. Are you okay? Please, come closer. Yes, come sit down. Whoa, 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 whoa. Don't worry. I've got you. Sit here, dear bellflower, here in the shade. Of course you feel faint. I've been here holding you up with my ramblings in the midday heat. I'm so... I'm gonna go get you water. Please don't move. Stay in the shade. Of course you need it. It will not take long, I swear. I will return in but a moment. You're sad. You won't get to hear more about my research? You want to know more about my research? You want to see it? Well, if you're ever in the area of the conservatory, I would love to show it to you. If I've not scared you off with my ramblings today, that is. Yes, I promise. Now, I must go fetch you a cold drink, okay? Good. Please don't move while I'm gone. I'm quite concerned you might hurt yourself in this state. I'll be back momentarily. Just hold on.